Welcome everyone for this week's podcast of my show, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. Thank you so much for joining me for this week, where in the month of September I will be releasing the full short story, starting off for my season 2, 2018 to 2019. Thank you so much for following me. I really do appreciate your support. And I'm glad that you find my short stories interesting, that you would take the time to listen to this podcast. If you like it, of course, that I see that you do, please share it, recommend it to someone. Thank you again. So let's get started for today's podcast topic for this show, which is episode 32. For today, it would be titled With Moments of Love in Mitsrayim. And just to start off right quick, MOLIAE is the abbreviation of the theatrical production for my book, Mitsrayim, and it's entitled Moments of Love in Ancient Egypt. When I had started this podcast last year, right, most of the stories was very dealing with politics of Mitsrayim and the war, and really didn't get to focus on, having a relationship with the person that you love, that you care about. And that's really my book. If you really take a look at it in the aspect, it's about having a relationship with the person, with your true love, but having a relationship with other people that you care about, and how our choices can affect one another and either cause us harm or cause us, being very with joy and happiness. And so, at any rate, to me, that's the human aspect. In the end of the day, is to find that balance and that respect to express love in a positive way. Because in today's world, we see so much of the negativity of it. But really, love is positivity. It's humbleness. It's respectful. It's enduring. It's consistent. It's good. So the opposite of that, I hear people use the word or this or that, or you see it displayed in another type of medium, either in film or whatever, music or whatever, to express it. To me, they're not talking about love, because love doesn't hurt. Love is nourishment. It's strong and it's powerful. You know what I'm going to share this with you. I just recently kind of connect with something, a topic of the word love, and I remember hearing, a lot of times when we listen to these fables or these stories that we grew up with, and if you think about it, they always said to break that negativity bond that's controlling you. They say it can only be broken by a true love kiss. And something that had me think about that actually earlier this year. And you know what? If you really look at it in a way, it's true, because with true love, it's so powerful, and its potency of what is. It's like the good of light, divine purpose, in a sense that it's so powerful. It can break any type of hold of negativity to keep either these two people together or to keep something from happening that is meant to be. And so when you find the right match, it is divine living. It is the peace that you seek and the joy that you want. And it just made me think about that, and it is true, even if it was being told in this fictional story, but in real life, it makes you think of the powerful of it. And so I guess to degrade that is to use the word in a sense that love hurts, and no, love don't hurt. The person or the people that's doing it is doing the hurting, because we all here with the ability of choice, and you could choose to be able to do the things that reflect love. And that's what the things and the adjective words that I use is just that. It's those things that I mentioned. All right, so enough on that soapbox. But I just like how sometimes things connect in a way to make you think in the deeper level, to give you a higher understanding. So let's get to this episode, or why are you tuning in? And this episode came to me that it's time to show that love, right? So I'm not going to be mushy in my short story, but be enough that I can share this divine relationship that they was meant to be together. And we're talking about King Mahlon and Queen Hagar. That's what this episode would be about today. So just to recap again right quick on this podcast, it's a premium podcast. For the most of the year of my season, I do clip snippets of the short story. If you want to be a patron of this podcast, you get the full short story. That snippet is going to start next month, right? And then through the year, I kind of release like a full short story. I do character profiles. I might do it this year. It depends. Yeah, I think I probably will, to build up this universe of MOLIAE. Okay. But at any rate, if you want to be able to get the full short story, of course, you can become a patron. I have the link at the bottom of this podcast description section there that you can click on that and go to my Patreon page and be able to get access to all the other snippets that I did before in season 1 and going forward that I will do. So consider that. Also, I need to reiterate is that during the year I do videos. I do video clips of my short stories, and it's located on MOLIAE YouTube channel. I haven't really been investing in getting out there and having subscribers because I've been busy with other things, but I really want to focus on increasing my MOLIAE YouTube channel in subscribers. So if you can help, go ahead and subscribe to it, because I do, like I said, do those videos, and they look very awesome on your smartphone or tablet or what have you. And so you'll get the podcast, but you also going to get that video type of experience. Consider subscribing to MOLIAE YouTube channel. You should also see a link to that you can connect to. And also on my YouTube channel, I have it organized in a way that you can see previous video clips and the whole podcast show when I do release those, because I don't do it on every episode because it takes a while. It takes some time in that post editing. My whole goal is to make sure I'm on time releasing these podcasts that I committed to, that I have you engage in. And I know that for the ones that have been following me for a while, is looking forward to it if I'm saying I'm going to do it. So my number one goal is to focus on getting these podcasts out, the timeline that I said that I would, to commit to what I said. And the YouTube videos are periodically, because they do take time and I don't want that to hold me up. But I have a whole section categorized on the MOLIAE YouTube channel with all the ones I have did. So it's an easy reference for you to find. All right, let's get now to the recap, okay? The recap from last week basically was episode 31, and that's where the title was In the Sudan, Many Secrets Run Deep to the Afar of the Old. So in that one, we looked at Rulen, okay? So Rulen came back from season 1. The first time we met Rulen is when Queen Hagar remembered memories of the past. And in that aspect, she went to go see Rulen right where the time where this uprising was about to happen, and she's trying to find some answers. And she went to a source that she knew that who would have the answer. Okay, fast forward towards before the finale, right, of episode 29, I believe. She received a letter. Turns to find out that like it was Rulen or someone to that nature, that somebody needs to go back to the Sudan and find out more answers. And Rulen was the one, I guess, called amongst the tribal leaders down there to talk to the representative from Mitsrayim. And this was Tayyib. Tayyib was sent on behalf of the crown to go to Queen Hagar to go and talk to Rulen, or who that might be, in the sense of what's going on, to lead up not only to any other type of obstacles, but what happened before, to get more information, okay? Because you got to find your enemies, right? When you find your enemies, you'll be able to strategize more better to execute the prevention of any attack. So come to find out, it looked like Rulen, the family of the Tayyib family, and knew Queen Hagar, and evidently is very fond of her. And so we get to see this connection. Wonderful for me, because I never really knew Rulen when I wrote the book. Okay, it was mainly on the eyes through Princess Amina. So we get to find more about his connection, and seems like he's in the military. When we realize and identify him last season, he was in this HUD, and we really didn't realize how he actually had military ties. Okay, now we find out that he's a high-ranking military official, the power to make decisions that impact other tribal leaders. So we get to know that, and Tayyib is on the scene, so we get to find out that there are more elements. And also we get to hear this description of this place that they were at. somewhere. I'm not sure, it seemed like a cave how I was describing it, but it was in a way that the Nile River was still, the water was still coming in to show that interchange of ancient times and how things were done in a secret, a very military way and a very mystic type of way. So we get to connect the dots that Rulen is a bigger player than we thought from last season, and that he will be returning back in this season. When, what, we don't know, but he left it as this, that he's ready to talk to this Orion, that he told Tayyib that, hey, it's somebody else, okay, that is still in play for Mitsrayim, which we're still trying to find out what is their star. So that's basically was last week, is Tayyib went to go see Rulen and to find out what's going on and how he can support the crown. Tayyib to go back and tell them the information that he received. For Rulen was confirming that it's somebody else and it's something else you need, and that I know and that I might be a part of it. So pretty much that's how that ended. So let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, and let's begin. For this week of my Season 2 podcast show, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond, for episode 32, entitled, With Moments of Love in Mitsrayim. Opening scene. There is always a beautifulness from the dawn of anew of before in Mitsrayim. As the golden rays of Abbass uncover the blanket from Kingo from last hour, we see Queen Hagar standing on the open terrace, looking out to the pyramids from the Shamash Palace, a secret location on the western banks of Mitsrayim. It is secluded enough to keep close to the royal estate of Abbass, but far enough for rest before returning back to the many others ready to hear the announcement that King Mahlon has returned with full health and stature in ruling Mitsrayim. Queen Hagar was dressed in a white linen trimmed in gold with sapphires embedded, a long dress to her feet that continued to glimmer and sparkle in the rising intense Abbass rays beaming off the Nile River below. Her hair was still moist and damp from the early emergence into the royal statue enclave. It was long, and a tight black curls framed her Nubian face as she continued to watch the dawn spread across the skies of Mitsrayim. She was at peace after the confrontation with Echo, the Orion, by standing by King Mahlon to watch the removal of one of the head leaders against the major attack of Mitsrayim. She felt more at ease. She was at peace. She started beaming as she rubbed her belly, reconfirming the anew inside of her of coming soon. Suddenly she could feel and hear Mahlon rocking up behind her. And then he embraced her shoulders in a genuine long hug of comfort. Yes, they were both at peace and well. King Mahlon then went to stand next to Queen Hagar as they both gazed out into the horizon as the new day from Abbass continued to shine more brightly. He spoke, "In this day of anew, we have many good things to see. The broken of our path has been restored." Hagar: "Indeed, it is so." He reached for her hand to walk farther out onto the terrace. The royal king guards were still below, but out of sight, as they wait for the next command to when the rulers of Mitsrayim would start back on their journey fully into Mitsrayim Center to announce King Mahlon's return to the throne. He looked over to her and smiled as she remembered the first time his eyes looked in such a more comforting way many cycles ago when they were younger. Mahlon speaks. "Your presence by my side was a part of me standing again. You are a part of the source that will always engulf my heart." Queen Hagar responded, beaming modestly, "With truth from anew of all things in creation, being united with the one that is truly entwined allows us to be in the now of our hearts. That my love for you flows in abundance, Mahlon." He embraced her to kiss her on the forehead as they continued to stare in the distance. Mahlon speaks, "Your strength of wisdom soothes my soul to another day. And the dawns to be, we can defeat any enemy against thee." He reached down to rub her belly. Mahlon speaks again. "And the dawn has spoken to move forward with anew from us." Hagar beamed with joy and spoke with happiness. "Arse, Mahlon, Arse." Mahlon squeezed her shoulders for comfort as they both felt at peace and enjoyed standing tall together. Suddenly, it was Queen Hagar that ceased the embrace to walk to the other side of the terrace. Mahlon immediately felt something was bothering his queen. "What has now entered your mind to step back from this moment?" Queen Hagar turned to face her beloved. She stood taller to give him complete eye contact and focus. She speaks, "It is Rulen." Mahlon stepped back at his queen for many moments before he looked back outward to the horizon. Not turning back to face Queen Hagar, he responds, "I know you've seen him many aspu before the outbreak of many battles to the war with General Tunkan on the behalf of Mitsrayim, for those against my authority in the region. It was for me." Queen Hagar, "Arshe, there was no time while you were amongst the emergence from the far west and north, 3 aspu rays ago, to talk in revealing the others." Mahlon respond, "And to his heart of you still?" Queen Hagar said nothing, only looking at Mahlon as he continued to look forward. Mahlon then spoke in a voice of old, when they first met before he was crowned King of Mitsrayim. "King of Mitsrayim, I will always love you. Your life there in that time was just a moment leading to the now." Mahlon turned to finally face her and slowly walked to his queen. He spoke, "You have always been the most enduring precious stone to behold to many rulers. And now we are about to create another with a new watching as soul." Queen Hagar responds, "Arshe, it seems this meeting with Tayyib, my father with Rulen." Mahlon interceded, "Let him ponder of what he wished to be and might do. Time moves on. The Etherians have spoken long before in the union of us. Let the dust fall where they may, of resistance of those. For my love of you, my daughter Hannah, and the anew in you will continue onward with the good of life forward, that I will lead Mitsrayim in its victory." Queen Hagar speaks, "Arshe, my king." End scene.